everyone, it's Kim and welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. Welcome back to Bookmarks and Breadsticks. If you're new to my channel, I specialize in the world of food writing. This could be anything in nonfiction, whether it's a chef's memoir to the history of the kumquat and everything in between. And sometimes I do dabble in the world of food and fiction. Today I am here to bring you a review of a kind of foodie book, but also a new release. I have Booked on a Feeling by Jayci Lee. This is an advanced reader copy I won from Sophia in a Bookstagram giveaway. But this book is the third in a universe by Jayci Lee that started with A Sweet Mess, and The Dating Dare is the second book in between. Now, I have already reviewed The Dating Dare on my channel, so I'll link it in the cards and down below. So, all in all, Jayci Lee has 3 books set in this universe. A Sweet Mess, which deals with Landon and Aubrey, and Confession, I didn't read these in order, so I actually haven't read A Sweet Mess, but this one involves a bakery owner, Aubrey, and Landon, the love interest, and she owns, a cupcake, sinfully delicious bakery. Now, in the same town of Weldon, we have Tara, who dates and falls in love with Seth Kim in The Dating Dare. Seth is Landon's brother, so you connect the two together. Tara is also Aubrey's best friend. Tara and her family own a brewery, which is where her older brother, Jack, also works. So Jack is the male protagonist of Booked on a Feeling. He is the numbers guy in the family. His twin brother and his younger sister Tara are the brewmasters of the pub. They are the creative minds that create the delicious beers, but he is the one who helps with business operations and also is just a general handyman. Jack is unsure what to do with his life. He has spent his 20s working at the brewery. He's now 30 and finds that he doesn't want to be part of the family business forever and ever the way his sister and his brother do. They have a different kind of connection to the family business than he does. And at the start of the story, he is applying for new jobs in Los Angeles to become a business analyst. He is battling a lot of his insecurities, and he's also afraid of disappointing his family because he doesn't want to tell them he doesn't want to be part of the family business without having a job lined up. Now, his best friend, Lizzie, is a high-profile, no-nonsense legal attorney in Los Angeles. They've been friends forever, and Jack's had a crush on Lizzie since he was probably about 10 years old. Lizzie, our heroine, is about 2 years away from making partner at the law firm in Los Angeles and finds that she is always filled with anxiety. During a really important trial, she actually has a panic attack and then still goes back in and wins the case. But that was a big red flag for her and really just sent her a big wake-up call that this might not actually be what she wants versus what her parents want. There is a heavy influence throughout all of these books of the invisible burden of being first-generation children in America. Lizzie Chung's family, her mom and dad, actually still live in Korea. They came to America, and when her father was transferred back to Korea, her mother went with him and kept her in America to finish her studies. So Lizzie always feels afraid that she's letting her mother down. So we have 2 different kind of generational cliches. Jack, who's afraid, or not afraid, but feels pressured to be part of the family business, but realizes that's not what he wants in life. Meanwhile, Lizzie has no idea what she wants to do with her life after being an overachiever and on this fast course to becoming partner. Now has hit the brakes and has no idea what she's doing. So when Lizzie decides to take 3 weeks off from work, she comes back to Weldon to hang out with her best friend Jack. And this is the first time she's seen Jack as a man. So of course, sparks fly. So if you haven't figured out the key trope already, this is childhood friends to lovers. This is also the 3rd book in a series. You don't necessarily need to read these books in order by any means. They all just live in the same exact universe. Now, I know Read It and Eat is about books and food. I will admit that this story doesn't have as much food in it. So Lizzie loves bookstores, thus Booked on a Feeling. You can see what the cover looks like. Obviously, this isn't the final cover since this is an arc that I won, but you can get the idea. Lizzie loves bookstores. It has been one of her great solaces and was her childhood dream, and somehow rents an Airbnb right above a bookstore called Sparrow Bookstore in Weldon that is struggling and having a hard time. And Lizzie has decided for the 3 weeks that she's in town, that will be her project. Jack's project for 3 weeks is basically admitting and falling in love with Lizzie, and Lizzie realizing and potentially falling in love with Jack. There is a third act miscommunication that is a little annoying, maybe because I'm also a grown married adult now. It's annoying, but I understand the third act. You do get moments of food because Jack works at a brewery with his family. The food is always around, and also because these are Korean Americans, there's also tons of Korean food around too, and just they go on dates and visit lots of restaurants. So I'd say of the 3 books in this series, this is the farthest you're going to get from food, and I'd say the dating dare is somewhere in between because it primarily takes place within Tara's world, which is the brewery. So the primary location of this book is a bookshop versus a brewery or a bakery, but it's still definitely food focused. I would say Jayci Lee is extremely talented in depicting food. I was hungry the whole time. I wanted to pick up a book. It also fuels my desire to open a bookstore. I would love to do it. It's every time I read about this world of like someone falling in love with a bookstore and throwing away their career, I'm like, wow. Is this me? I'm 30 and I've spent 7 years in food, consumer product goods. But Lord knows, I have no idea how she's so rich that she can just, throw everything. Well, maybe she just doesn't own a house. I own a house, so I digress. All in all, I really did enjoy this book. I'd probably say it's like a 3.5 or a 4-star in the series. I think I'm just not a big fan of childhood friends to lovers. It all felt very convenient, and because they've been friends for so long, a lot of the memories are told to you as the reader. Their relationships are told to you. I'd say the relationships don't feel as deep, but because I have context from the dating dare and knowing that Sweet Mess exists, I think you would have a greater appreciation of the depth of character relationships if you've read the prior books, even if it's not required. If you do just pick this book up for the first time, the characters might seem a little bit shallow to you. I liked Lizzie. I thought she was super funny. Someone who battles with, is a to-do list sexier than an orgasm? I mean, I laughed because I know the thrill of checking off items on a to-do list. Booked on a Feeling is on shelves. It came out July 26th, and if you want to order your own copy, I'll have a link to my affiliate shop down at bookshop.org below. Please consider using bookshop.org versus ordering from the monster that is known as Amazon, because part of your purchase is going to help support independent bookstores, which is a core theme of Booked on a Feeling, is an independent bookstore struggling to get on its feet in the town of Weldon. If you're interested in other book reviews, I do have a series called Coffee Chats where I've been reviewing foodie fiction, young adult, and rom-coms. I'll link that above and down below. And while you're on your way down there, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I have new videos out every Tuesday and Saturday all across the world of foodie fiction. If you have other foodie romances that you would like me to read or review, leave them down below. And again, I recognize that Booked on a Feeling isn't exactly a foodie romance, but there's enough food to keep me satisfied, and one of the core themes is about saving a bookstore. Count me in. It's a delight. I read it in 2 sittings. Highly recommend it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.